Hey Facebookers, this is my story, my WalkAway Campaign Contribution. I hate cameras, I hate videos, but I love my country and I love this movement, and I'm just going to fumble my way through this. I'm 43, I am a Generation Xer, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother. I was raised in Iowa by a single father. My parents separated when I was 10, and my sister and I were raised by our dad, who did just a knockdown job. We were raised in a kind of poor factory town, lots of packing houses. In the 1980s, Iowa Beef Processing, which is now called Tyson Foods, there was a big strike there, and busloads of workers were brought in from all over the country, and they came with extremely diverse backgrounds. So our little redneck Iowa town quickly became extremely diverse. So I grew up in a diverse town. I grew up in a diverse neighborhood. Our school was diverse. My social circle was extremely diverse, and so was my family. Being raised by a single father, we were poor. We didn't know it, much less care. We were proud people, we were humble people, happy people. We were raised with values. I was indoctrinated into the Democratic Party through the school system, which I think is pretty much par for course when you go to school in the U.S. 10th grade, Mr. Twait, he taught us, the Democrats got your back. The poor working man, the average Joe, white-collar workers, blue-collar workers, anyone who's out there struggling to make ends meet, the Democrats are going to do everything they can in their power to make your life so much better and help you achieve the American dream. And you learn later on that the only thing holding you back from achieving the American dream, the only oppression that you suffer, is your self-loathing victim mentality and what you do on payday. Those are what are going to hold you back. But I didn't realize that, unfortunately, until years later. My love for people is enhanced by our differences. Age, race, ethnicity, religion, educational background, sexuality, political beliefs. These make us who we are. And all of us are good people, I think, I believe. Our differences can bond us, can help us understand where people come from. And no, we may not walk a mile in someone else's shoes, but that doesn't mean that we can't be empathetic to their situation. I truly believe that diversity is a good thing. Diversity shoved down your throat and spread across the table, thrown in your face, is not a good thing. We can accept people for who they are without making a big deal about it. We're just people. So I was a young mom. I was a single mom at 18. By 21, I had 3 beautiful children, and I raised them on my own. I struggled, but I did it. And when I was 32, I decided to go back to school because I wanted to show my kids that it's never too late to put yourself first. Do not give up on your dreams, whatever they may be, however far-fetched they are. So I worked full-time, and I got my first degree, a business degree, and I kept working full-time, and I got my nursing degree. And I kept working full-time, and I got my second nursing degree, and I kept working full-time, and I got my master's degree in public health. It was impossible at times. I've never cried so much in my life, but I did it. I graduated in my master's program with honors, and it feels pretty darn good. So back in 2008, my family and I moved from Iowa to Southwest Florida. I wanted to change, and my kids were pre-teening, and I thought it would be good to show them, life outside this little redneck town in the middle of Iowa. There's life beyond I-29 or Highway 75. We just don't know because we've never ventured that far. So we moved to Florida, and it was eye-opening. What I thought was a diverse town in the Midwest was nothing. Southwest Florida is beautiful. I mean, people from all over the world, many different cultures, different parts of the country. I mean, so many different backgrounds. It's just mind-blowing, and it's a beautiful thing. My kids were like, wow, this is amazing. They learned so much about so many different people and made tons of friends, and it was great. And in the first Obama election, I voted for him. He was beautiful. He was charismatic. His family was gorgeous. He was so well spoken. He promised change and hope and, we can do this. And I was on board. I was like, this is great. And then I voted for him again. And during that time, I was like, what has changed? What have we done? What is better? You see the violence increasing, the racial diversity increasing, hatred, self-loathing, the economy went down the shitter. People were on food stamps, more than before. Unemployment rates were up. Our international relations were going to crap. And I'm like, what has he done? I mean, other than being easy on the eyes, I don't really see how he's benefited the people that he campaigned to benefit. I just did not see it. And I started to really question, why am I a Democrat? What have the Democrats done for the little person in the past 30 years? And I can't find a damn thing they've done. I'm just baffled. So in 2012, I met my now husband. So all those years of single mom in it. My husband is a legal resident alien. And he's just the kindest, most generous, appreciative person I've ever met in my life. He has really been supportive while I struggled through nursing school and my master's degree. And he accepted 3 teenagers as if they were his own, and that alone tells you he's a very tolerant man. So we're on this journey, and he was a Obama supporter too. And, I started to question things in 2015, and I started turning off the news. Not that I've ever been a TV watcher, but I turned off the news, stopped reading the paper. I started listening to NPR and, Sean Hannity and Dennis Prager, and started doing my own research, and Julian Assange, and I was just everything I could get my hands on. Why? And what I found is the more that I question things, the more that my friends and that are fellow Democrats condemned me. The party of tolerance and love and acceptance is all fine and dandy as long as you believe 100% what they believe. The minute you question anything, you're racist, you're a bigot, you're hateful, every filthy word that they can spew at you, they will, which started to really open my eyes more. Funny little thing, not too long ago, I was visiting Florida with my kids, and on the back of my car now, I'm a vegan to switch things up, and I support Black Rifle Coffee. So I support our men in blue, I support our troops. And we were traveling in Florida, and my son had car trouble, so the cops were there, tow truck, all this stuff. And one of the cops pulls me aside, and he's kind of like, can we ask you a question? We're just baffled. So on your car, you have, eat more plants, which tells me you're definitely a left-winger. You're vegan, right? Liberal. And on the other side of your bumper, you have Black Rifle Coffee. So supporting the troops, supporting the men in blue tells us that you're a Republican. So what are you? And I just stood there like, oh, considering, what's going on with my kid's car, and they kind of, wrecked it, went down a ditch. And I'm like, by answering this, am I going to get a ticket? I don't know what to say, but I was like, I'll tell you what I am. I'm just an American. I support our men in blue. I want to take care of my body. I'm a nurse, I eat well, and I'm just an American. So I didn't get a ticket, and they just kind of laughed about it, and they said, it's really interesting to see 2 different sides on one car. And I said, that just shows you how much we tend to judge people right off the bat. So interesting. Anyways, so 2015, you know, the elections are kind of brewing, and next thing you know, Bernie Sanders gets flushed down the toilet, and there's all that controversy, and, you know, it's Hillary this, Hillary that, and everyone's, yay, Hillary. And I remember when her husband was president, I couldn't stand him or her then, and I can't stand him or her now. I didn't like the way she carried herself during his extramarital affairs issues, the way she demonized victims of, whatever, his nonsense. So the fact that in this country full of amazing, educated, dedicated, hardworking, incredible, God-fearing people, this is what we have. This is our front runner, Hillary freaking Clinton. I just could not support it. And then on the other side, I'm like, holy hell, Donald freaking Trump, are you kidding me? The man can't speak. He fumbles through his words. He doesn't know anything about politics. And then I started thinking, that's probably a good thing. You know, he's been a successful businessman. And I know everyone says, oh, this failed of his and that failed. And he went through bankruptcy. And yeah, but how many of you have done that? I know I haven't. I haven't had businesses to grow, let alone to have them fail. You know, people who understand business understand that sometimes, you know, you file a bankruptcy to move the business forward in other directions. But, you know, the Democrats don't want to believe anything that is potentially positive in any way, shape, or form. What I can say about Donald Trump is he is an outsider, and that's what this government needs. A fresh set of eyes, the man who will run this country like a business, not take any crap from anyone, stand up for what's right, stand up for the beliefs that our country was founded on, the values that our country was founded on. So I did get behind him because he stood for change, and it was refreshing. And Donald Trump, you know, love him or hate him, and he's pretty crass, and I can't say I 100% love him, but I support what he's doing. And he has a no tolerance for BS attitude. When he says he's going to do something, he does it. And I can't not support that. You know, we're in some very trying times, and we need a man who's going to do what's right, not what's easy and what smooths things over and makes everything okay for the moment. He's going to look at the facts, and he's going to do what's right for our country. You know, it's interesting, the party of tolerance and the party of love and the party of acceptance. I have seen more hate spewed by them, more violence, more prejudice, more damnation if you dare to question anything that they believe. The fact that, you know, they were out beating up people who oppose their opinion, the riots, the fires, you know, the destruction of property, the pussy hats, really vulgar, absolutely vulgar. And I cannot stand behind a party that conducts themselves that way. I believe in God. I believe in the principles that our nation was founded on. I believe in respecting authority. I support our troops. I support our men in blue. I believe in a hard day's work for honest pay. I believe you earn your way. I believe the only person to get you out of your crappy, pitiful situation, no matter how bad it is you. You know, we are accountable for our actions. I don't care how hard your life was, because mine was too. We all struggle. We all have trials. We all have tribulations. What makes us amazing people is our ability to get up every day and plow through it, to find a way out, to figure it out, to take pride in what we do. I mean, you just don't see that with people on the left. It's poor me, poor me, poor me, gimme, 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 not fair, not fair. Honey, life isn't fair, you know, and things don't always work out the way that we want to, but they work out the way that they're supposed to, I think. And being a single mom of 3, you know, for years, I can attest to that 100%. You know, you got to find your ray of sunshine every single day. You have to find gratitude, and some days you have to force yourself to find gratitude when you're in those very dark and humbling situations. But if you don't start counting your blessings and being grateful for what you have, you're never going to get through what you're going through. I believe in respecting, loving, and upholding one another, praising people, you know, going the extra mile, helping out your neighbors. I truly believe in just being a good person. Why is that so damn difficult? You know, another interesting thing with the Democratic Party, and I am guilty of this, I'm so guilty of this, is just the whole abortion issue, you know, my body, my right issue. I was a supporter of that for years. I never agreed with it, you know, like personally, I could never do that. But I always had that mentality that, you know what, their situation is unique. You know, their situation, they don't want to raise that baby in poverty, or they didn't want to be pregnant, or, you know, whatever, they have a right. I believed that for years, and it wasn't until I started listening to shows like Dennis Prager that I really started to question, do I value human life? Do I truly value human life? Because if I do value human life, then all human life has value. And it doesn't matter if it's an inconvenience. You know, if we waited for the perfect time to get pregnant, we would be extinct, because it's never the perfect time. You know, no matter how much we think our ducks are in a row, they're not. Have a baby, you'll see. You know, it's just mind-blowing. So, you know, my thoughts go to, if you truly value human life, like look at the left. So the left says, it's my body, I can make whatever decision I want. And when you talk about abortion, the left says, well, it's just a fetus. You know, it's not even a baby yet. It's just a bunch of cells clumped together. Well, we are all cells clumped together. But the interesting thing is, it's not a baby if someone wants to abort it, but the minute that some woman in Hollywood gets pregnant, or some, you know, musician gets pregnant, they're celebrating life from week number 5 when they found out they're pregnant. Why is that valid and of value? But if it's not wanted and it's an inconvenience, it's not human life. It doesn't make sense. You know, you either value human life or you don't. And I struggled with that for a long time, because, you know, I just wanted to please everyone and mind my own business. And, you know, there are those rare outlier situations where, you know, mama's life is in danger or baby's life is in danger. Those are rare anomalies. And I'm not talking about those. I'm just talking about life in general has value. And I truly believe that. And I can't say that I'm overtly Christian and I religiously go to church, and I wish I did and I want to, but I don't. But I believe and I pray, and He knows I believe and I pray. And I truly believe that all life has value, and I don't support the left stand on abortion. I just can't. I don't know. I'm just tired of being forced to agree, or being damned if I don't. I'm tired of questioning. You know, the real wake-up moment for me was when my best friend of over a quarter of a century, she is married to a Hispanic man, and as are most of my friends back home, there's biracial relationships left and right in my tight social circle and in my family. You know, mixed babies are hands down the most beautiful babies out there. Anyways, my best friend, on the morning that, you know, it's announced that Donald had won the election, she posts something on Facebook that basically says, if you support Trump, you're racist and you're anti-gay. Basically, you're an asshole. You suck. You're not worth being alive. And that to me was like, wow, I have grown up with you. We've been biffles since we were 14, 15 years old. You know, everyone in my tight circle has a baby or a spouse pretty much of a different racial or ethnic background, and they are all family to me. I have, you know, there's homosexuality within my family, and within my tight close friends, there are transsexuals in that circle, and I love them all the same. But to be told on a Facebook post, you know, if you supported Trump, then you're anti-gay, then you're hateful, you're racist, you're a bigot. And all I could think is, that is hands down the most ignorant shit I've ever read in my life. And that was profoundly awakening to me to what the left truly stands for. Like, her post wasn't, you know, singled out to one person. It was to everyone. And I am in that everyone because I support Trump. So that to me was the point that I'm like, these people are out their damn mind. They are just out of their mind, you know. Anyone who knows me knows that I am none of those things. I love everyone. I think diversity is beautiful, but I don't feel that diversity should be attached to the pity card and the oppression card every time that you turn around. There are good and bad people of every profession, of every race, of every religion, of every color. You know, there's shitty waitresses out there, there's shitty cab drivers, there's shitty teachers, shitty nurses, shitty doctors. I've worked with them. You know, it doesn't make you a bad person. You know, people are people. You can't just single someone out based on the stupidest bullshit. I don't know. That's terrible. I shouldn't say that. But anyways, I think this movement is phenomenal. I'm so proud to be a part of it. Like I said, I crossed over early election in 2015, but I'm proud that I'm here, and I'm proud to be a deplorable.